Okay, hello.
Hello.
Today Peter is replacing Christian. He's out traveling, and today Peter will show us some smart web development tips. A little follow-up from the up-ed session we had, plus also show this new exciting stuff that's going on in Omega 365 called Collaboration Workspace. That's good, interesting stuff. Before we start, just these up-ed sessions are available on Microsoft Streams. Several of the videos have also been uploaded into the YouTube channel, so you can find them there as well. Okay, but then over to Peter. First of all, about Workspace, Collaboration Workspace.
Yes. This is a new component or module that we have implemented in Omega 365. It contains collaboration functionality. So all of you know about the workflow engine now, but this is something separate. Workflow is the workflow itself is a big thing, but this workspace is something that you hook on to an existing module. So if you see the data model here, we have workspace now connected to a procedure. We're going to try it out in document control. We have meetings, arena, as you see it twice, but and some other modules as well. A workspace cannot be standard on its own. On its own, you need to connect it to something. So we don't have like a workspace register, so you can browse all the workspaces that are available. So you need to go through an existing module or an application. So the workspace contains quite a lot of functionality. We have implemented approvals in it. We have comments, just plain comments and responses. We have actions. In addition, we have also reviews, and here we have implemented support for the Foxit. I'm going to show you a bit afterwards. And then also we have attachments. So the special thing here, we also need to control the permissions here in order to get the user to see the actual content here. So, but the permissions then is maintained by the permissions from the module. So whenever we create, say, a procedure, we create also a workspace and connect it to the procedure, and then we maintain the permission from the procedure. So also sometimes, for instance, in meetings we have participants. So whenever we add a participant in the meeting, we also inject it into the subscribers. In the org units we have the optional role, so you can have it on only an org unit, and quite a lot of people, all the people that has access to the org unit will also get access to see the workspace. But in addition, you can narrow it down to a specific role as well. Say for instance in actions and also approvals and reviews, you need to assign it to someone. So the list of the persons that shows up in these persons lookup is based on the permission, or the people in the that has access to it via the permissions. But you can also supply a data object from the module into to the component, saying that instead of using the built-in or the person that have access via the permissions, you can use an external list as well.
Okay.
So
I'm going to show some live demo of it.
Yeah.
Just switch over to the other screen. Now you should be live with a procedure.
So here we have a procedure. This is the tooling we use for the documentation on the docs omega365.com. So here we have just created myself a test procedure. And here on the right side here we have the approvals. As you see here, we also have a number up here. That is basically the revision of the collaboration item. So we can have several revisions on a workspace. So and the details here are connected to the item, which again is on the workspace. So here you see we have approval, and then the list is based on those that have permissions inside this test procedure. Same with review. Here you have the option to, or there's an event fired here, so you can actually connect the file that's going to be reviewed inside the module. So here we have implemented a PDF generation of the actual procedure, and then we attach it to the workspace. So when I click here, the file, the procedure is created on server side and converted to the PDF, and then we have the option to review it. And then we can add some reviewers. Just add it myself. Type correctly. And then we get a button here for review the file. So hopefully now we have a PDF with the Foxit viewer and the annotation tooling here. And then we have an option to complete it. Then we have standard action, questions, comments and attachments. And as you see on the, you don't have the model now, but we have also built-in notification here, so you get notifications up in the bell here whenever you do something in here, for assign an action to a person, or you add approver or a reviewer. Yes, so basically that's it for the this component. So let's switch over to some web development tips. I have two things today. On the app I went through the data-procedure ID, and then Johnny asked me to take another demo of that. So basically the data procedure procedure ID, the concept there is the same as the data object ID. So those of you that have been web developing quite a lot know about the data object ID and the scope, that you define a scope whenever you set the data object ID. The same thinking is for the data procedure ID. So here you can write in markup, you can write the data procedure ID and the procedure that you have added in the store procedure here. So then you need to bind up the different controls to the parameters that you're going to supply into the procedure. So then you use the parameter or the name called data-parameter. So here we have title. So that's quite easy on a standard input, and that counts for input type checkbox and so on. And then we have for the lookups, it's a bit, or you need some extra, and that is in addition to the data parameter, and of course you need to specify the lookups, it's important that you have this one, data value bindings, included as well. And then you need to specify the left side is the parameter name, and the right side is the name from the lookup, or the column from the lookup. And the same thing, I don't have a date picker here, but the same thing is for the date picker. Yeah. So, and I don't have an example here, but we can include variables from the outside as well. Say for instance from a data object. Then we could have for instance, let's just copy here. Then you could have, like, say you had a data object ID and you're going to supply person ID, for instance, from a person's data object. Data dash, yeah, I have it there. Object dash ID equals ds person, and then you have data dash field equals ID, for instance, which is the person ID. Then you have bound this as well to the data parameter. So say we had data parameter person ID, like that. So now we actually have the value from the data object with the column ID automatically put into the person ID.
And it's before, if you don't use it this way, you have to write several lines of JavaScript code.
Yeah, then you need to have an event this something on click function, and then you need to have proc.execute. I think it is execute. Like this, and then you need to specify all the parameters here, p-params, like this, and then you need to have a callback, or you don't need it, but nice to have. Then you need to have get all the parameters, var p-params, say that, equals like this, JSON literal, and then v-param dot person ID and all those, and you need to fetch it from the markup. So you end up with like, for this typical particular case, you end up with like 40 or 50 JavaScript lines.
And there's no code, there's no better code than no code.
Yeah, that's
something
great.
like that.
So
but then just how do you execute that then from the main HTML? How do you execute that?
Yeah, then you have a button typically, and then you have the data dash action equals execute.
Nice.
And then you run the store procedure. So we can have a little demo here. I just need.
Does it work now after you kind of messed around?
Yeah, I just need to replace something here, so like this. I need to have this one with me. I just comment it out like that. So here, test document like that. Just like this. So hopefully now, document, I didn't save it, so that's probably the case. Now I didn't have the correct markup of the document now, so I missed the document now. So let's take that one then. Yep. Input title. So let's take document now because that was missing. So let's do like that because I think that was hidden. It's like this, and then we just have a document no. I think we used to have it like hidden like that. So let's try again. Now I add a document new as a parameter.
Where is it hidden?
Test now because I'm in the middle of developing.
Ah.
So I just use this case because I was using this functionality. So hopefully now, yeah. So now it worked.
Cool. Nice.
Okay. Then that was the data dash procedure ID. Then we have another nice thing, and that is the data dash target object. In many cases, you would like to disable autoload and load the data on demand. For actually, when we are creating new data objects now in Omega 365, we put this property here is automatically set to true, so we it's not default load. It doesn't default load the data. So because we would like to make the developer aware of that he needs to do something in order to load the data, and that sometimes you need to switch it off or take it off, so it actually loads on automatically. But in many cases, when you typically have tab control or something, you would like it to load when clicking. So then we have this attribute called data-target object, where you specify one or more data objects to load. And if you would like to have more, you can just comma separate them. And this can be, for instance, this case, we have tab control, where I have specified more than one. And we can use it wherever we would like to use it. So in another case, I have a button here showing a modal, and when you click the modal or the dialog, it loads this one. So this can be used wherever you would like to utilize it.
Yeah, what's the benefit?
The benefit is that you don't have to write JavaScript code to load the data if you're going to open the modal. That's one case. And another case is that you don't load more data than you actually need. So say you have 5 tabs under tab control, and all of those contains a grid with a lot of data in it, or with data objects, then you load the data when you click it and not load it when you actually open the page.
Yeah.
So instead of like 7 or 8 data object reloads, you only have, say, 2 when you open the app, because you have 5 of them in tabs.
That's good.
Yes.
Did you have anything more to show?
Not today.
No.
It takes some other time.
Welcome back later.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I think that was it for today. Just one reminder: next week there is this Pims user conference that where we have invited a lot of our clients, potential new clients, and also of course our own employees. So make sure you sign up. You find information about it on myomega365.com. Okay. Thank you everyone. Thank you Peter.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.